Hello everyone. Today I'll be going through the process of making a piston for my Radial Air Engine. I've recently published plans for this at jeplans.com. Initially we'll be making the piston jig. Basically we'll cut this plan out, attach it to a piece of wood, make the jig, and then use the jig to make the piston from this 1/2-inch aluminum rod. I have the plans attached to a small piece of oak. Initially I'm going to drill out some of the smaller holes, some of the guide holes. Then I will drill a 1/2-inch hole into it that will accept the aluminum rod. I probably won't drill all the way through, but then I'll cut it off, opening the hole on the other side. There will be a cut here that I'll use the bandsaw to make. That will be used for cutting off the finished piston once you have the various holes drilled into it. And there will be a cut here to allow us to put a screw in here to clamp it down. That's where the screw will go in to clamp the two pieces together. I'll drill the top out at the larger size. You'll find it's easier to drill a pilot hole with a smaller than 1/2-inch bit first. Alright, I've already made the cut here. I had to make an additional clamping hole because the first one I drilled out too big. But I made a cut here, a little crooked, but I can clean that up on the finished piston when we get to that point. Now I'm going to make the side cut in that'll allow us to clamp onto the rod. Okay. Once the jig is ready, simply insert the rod in. Then we'll do our 2 drillings for there and our drilling for there. Bring it back to the bandsaw, cut it off here. We'll have a finished piston. We just pound this in, this kicks out the piston, and we do the next. Allows you to fairly quickly and accurately produce the pistons, assuming you made a good block. It can take a couple tries to get this thing right. Right. First we're going to drill out the top. I'm actually going to try lubricating things with just a touch of mineral oil here. A lot of times the aluminum tends to be a little sticky. It's a good idea to wear gloves when doing this. I think I'll go find mine. Alright. Now we'll do the smaller hole portion of the drilling. The divot provided from the first larger hole will center the second hole nicely. Let's make it go. This is for the connecting rod attachment. This one you may want to do in a few passes. As you're drilling through, the aluminum can heat up and kind of stick to the smaller drill bit and break it off, so we'll see how it goes here. Alright, once it was cut off, I tapped that through, pushing out the piston with the valve holes drilled into it. Also the hole for hooking onto the connecting rods. Now I'm going to attempt, and I've had a little trouble with this in the past, centering a hole to drill out a little bit of the piston, basically to reduce its weight and to allow for the connecting rod to nest in there. To drill out the holes on the ends, I basically made kind of a holding jig that drill a 1/2-inch hole in, cut in half, and then I can clamp the piece in. Then I drilled one that was part way through, then a smaller hole on the end. That'll help me keep it centered as I start drilling. I'll just put that on here. I've already set the depth. For the first hole is pretty much the same depth as right down to the 3/4 inch wood here. So again, I'm going to put a little oil in it. We'll drill the pilot hole. Make sure that's tight. Once you have your pilot drilled, then you can go to the next size up, drill her up. Now it's most likely, it's pretty hot, so be careful when you take it out. As you can see, my initial pilot wasn't quite centered. It'll still work fine, but I'll try to do better next time. Now I'll drill at the other side the same manner, except this time it'll be sticking up, and I'll just mark with a pencil the depth I need. Other side of the piston, set your depth with the line you made. Repeat the steps that you did in the first half. After all is said and done, the piston comes out looking a little bit like this. So you can see my jig for drilling a centered hole didn't work so well. So I might end up remaking this one. But basically you got your bigger hole, smaller hole. Just want to go back and kind of clean the edges off of these so they don't catch on the tube. Obviously you want to try not to scratch the piston itself. You know, just kind of clean that little lip off that you always end up with. There was a lip on the top and the bottom as well. Kind of sand at the edge with a piece of sandpaper. And just kind of test it, make sure it's smooth in the tube. That is the piston.